We're going to bring in Rina Shah again. She's a political advisor and commentator. And Rina, when we were speaking earlier, you said that you were someone who was a Republican, and in 2020 you chose to vote for Joe Biden. And I'm sure there were many Americans who felt the same way that you did. What was it about that election in 2020 that made you decide that Joe Biden was the man that you wanted to lead your country?
When I saw the matchup between Donald Trump and Joe Biden first come to be in 2020, I knew right away I had to do the right thing and put country over party. In my mind, it was that race back then was about integrity and character. And Joe Biden has exhibited courage, humility, and selflessness in this moment by stepping aside and resigning. Look, we don't know the road ahead. It's marred with uncertainties, but I am incredibly hopeful for the country. I actually think this is an exciting time for the Democrats. At their convention next month in Chicago, they could show democracy in action. I have talked to some of our country's preeminent voting experts, and they share that sentiment with me that this does not have to be a chaotic process. It does not have to be a chaotic convention. Excuse me. There are processes and procedures in place to keep it from going off the rails. There are a couple options as to how it can work. Now, yes, Biden has endorsed Kamala Harris, but that doesn't automatically put her in the place of him. He won all these primaries. So if Democrats want to have a really open process where the American people feel read in, and people like me will take great interest, and I think it will also sort of promulgate this feeling across the electorate that this is fresh, this is a choice. And we've just for months been dealing with frustration and apathy. I think the moment can be exciting if we look at it, and the Democrats start to be very earnest about the process moving forward.
Now, how do you think Republicans are looking at what's happened this Sunday? Do you think they feel invigorated by this? Donald Trump, of course, as always, showing that he is very confident that he will now win that election in November.
Now, I just mentioned process a moment ago because it's going to be very important as to how Republicans are made to feel, particularly Trump supporting Republicans who want to see him back in the White House. The Democrats could have an open convention, and a number of candidates could put themselves forth. We've already started to hear from people like West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin that he wants to see a ticket with Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and Pennsylvania Governor Shapiro. I think in general, what we know right now is that there will be more calls like that, perhaps, or there could be unity. But an open convention definitely could scare Republicans. Right now, I think Republicans are a bit scared because Biden, they felt, was easier to beat. But they are scared that Kamala could turn out the vote for herself. However, if it becomes an open convention and we get a completely different ticket, I think Republicans will be even more scared.
And who could be on that ticket? If it's not Kamala Harris, people will also be wondering who the vice presidential nominee could be. We saw somewhat of a surprise for many that J.D. Vance was nominated with the Republicans. But now, as you say, for Democrats, this really is an open ticket. It's fair game.
Well, yes. So talking about the moment where there's no Harris on the ticket and it's a completely different ticket, that kind of ticket would probably be very encouraging to a lot of Democrats because it would be completely fresh faces. And with that, they would have a chance to bring new people under their banner, again, with unknowns. Because Kamala Harris did run in the Democratic primary for president, and Biden beat her. And I also want to remark just on fact, her campaign in that Democratic primary was very unsuccessful. It pretty much failed. But then Biden named her as his running mate. So if we see a completely different ticket, again, I think it could be encouraging to those Americans who are planning to stay home. 80 million Americans didn't show up to vote in 2020. We have no idea what those people are going to do. So an open convention process and or a completely different ticket definitely could advantage the Democrats.
It certainly could. Very exciting times for U.S. politics. A bit of chaos too, but it's certainly never a dull moment in Washington. Rina Shah there.